Season 52, War Number 1. We've matched up today against Chaos. The bans are Lady Deathstrike, Luke Cage, Silk, Spider-Man 2099, and Shuri. And we have the very first war of the Secutor tactic. And holy crap, what a first war I'm going to have, because we only have 6 fights this war, but they are some of the most interesting fights I feel like I've ever taken. We're going to start on Path 5 today, and our first fight's going to be against this Chavez here. Relatively uninteresting fight for as far as this war is going to go, because we're just taking this with Photon. Chavez isn't tactic, so I don't need to use negative here. I almost would prefer to use negative here, because I know I can just kill Chavez with an SP3, but Photon is just kind of safer because of the better power control, and that's basically the only reason, to be honest. And then Photon's Petrified doesn't actually trigger when you can't inflict debuff, so when debuff immunity is active, you can't really access Petrify. Holy crap, the lag this update is bad though. Like, you saw that lag during her SP1, like, it was so bad, but yeah, honestly, I was assigned Photon for this fight. I'd prefer using negative here, but it doesn't matter. Saves me some potions probably, because I have much more negative fights this war than Photon fights, so I'm not going to complain too much. We dropped the SP2 into protection, that's fine. I was using it as my knockdown resource anyway. And then we're just going to go for another combo, which we are triggering her power gain from Mystic Dispersion a lot here, because of the fact that if we can't petrify her, then she's obviously going to be a lot more annoying with Mystic Dispersion. So here, I'm going to dex it, and then she's already back to a bar of power just like that. And then she's going to get stingy with her specials, like close to the end, I think. Right around here. She doesn't feel like throwing it. Luckily, she's not throwing her heavy attacks to make it like super frustrating. She didn't throw a single heavy attack this fight. I feel like I got blessed by the RNG gods for that one. But she's definitely not feeling like throwing her special attacks. Well, now she throws it, but either way, I just want to finish this fight with as many charges as possible, and then we'll be set for my next Photon fight relatively well. So, almost 2-minute fight there, but still went down relatively well. And here is the infamous Enchantress on node 14 placement. And I say infamous when this is literally the first war of the season, but Enchantress is going to be an absolute nightmare on this node. And I've seen so many forum posts and just people complaining, how do we take Enchantress on node 14? Because of the fact that Heavy Hitter is on this node, and you cannot remove her heavy attack, or her green spells if you can't punish her heavy. So, we're using Mr. Negative. Reason for that, he has a slow with this Photon synergy. So, we can safely punish the heavy attack like you just saw I did. And obviously this slow, well, I say obviously, but I legitimately forgot that the slow has a cooldown, and you're gonna see me get unfazed triggered, because I completely forgot that the Photon synergy has a cooldown. It's gonna happen right here. I get unfazed. Luckily, she doesn't punish me, but now I'm getting close to backed into my corner, and also it didn't count to remove her green spells. So I need to find a way to not die here, because I'm in my corner. She has 3 unique spells, so I have to do all the things: punish, heavy, intercept, and special. And she gets her power gain active, and I'm not ready because I don't have heal block. So I'm going to take damage reflect. Whatever, it's fine. We didn't do too much damage. It could have been a lot worse, but I'm kind of panicking now. She's got so many precisions, and I legitimately don't know what to do here. Like, I trigger my evade, and then I remove her green spell. She gives me a very lucky dash back into an intercept to where I can remove the orange spell, and I'm lucky that my instincts triggered fast enough to recognize that intercept, because I might have died otherwise. And then we knock her down with a special attack to remove the purples, and all of her spells are gone. So now she drops an SP2. That's fine. All it is block damage. There's nothing scary about her dropping SP2 other than that. Now I have the heal block active, so I'm not feeling too bad about that aspect, but she's still gaining a lot of power, and then I eat a heavy because I'm bad. She damage flex me. I'm at 20% health. It's fine. If I say calm, cool, and collected, she dies. And I go for the evade there. Gonna go into an SP2, and then that knocks down protection, it knocks down her purple spells, and she's gonna die. But that was one of the most sketchy war fights I've done in forever. And I'm very lucky I didn't die there, because I played that bad. I legitimately did not play that very well. During, like, the midpoint of the fight, I was in the corner literally just doing nothing, because I didn't know what to do. I probably should have just paused the fight and collected my thoughts before just dexing a bunch of heavy attacks. And I never got to practice that fight in off-season, so that was a total experiment. It worked out for me. So I'm expecting my second attempt for that fight to go a lot cleaner, because I know it can. I just didn't perform well the first time. And I'm speeding this fight up because it's just a Photon versus Onslaught. The nodes here are irrelevant, because I'm pretty sure they don't matter at all. The only way they matter is if Onslaught somehow dexes me, because then I'll have a dex buff for the Opportunist node, or whatever it's called. Overwhelming odds, I don't remember. It doesn't matter. We just kind of play a normal Onslaught fight with Photon, and I'm going to eat an SP1 there because I'm just bad, but that's okay. I just need to finish the fights. I don't care about healing Photon because I don't have any more Photon fights this war. I just need to finish this fight alive. That's the only thing that matters here. So I'm waiting to try to go for a kill shot, and then I get it with the relic chain and everything, and then he dies. So back to Mr. Negative fights. We're going to start here against this Mordo on node 35. Actually, a pretty decent placement. This fight's a lot scarier than I expected. Mordo's power gain, obviously, is kind of crazy. The thing that really makes this fight a lot more manageable is the fact that you have invul boosts, because you can just push Mordo to SP3. You can tank an SP3, and then even if you lose your invul, his SP3 doesn't hit very hard to begin with, so it's not that bad. So I was focused a lot more on getting tactic up early in this fight than the last fight against Enchantress, because I know one of the big mistakes against Enchantress was not having tactic up when it needed to be up. So I'm going to make sure that I don't screw that up. So we're going to be very intentional about triggering my evade and placing debuffs as often as possible. I didn't even notice his power gain was coming back, but it's not that big a deal. I'm going to lose all my dark energy here because, again, I didn't recognize power gain coming. So I lost the uptime on my stuff, but it's okay. We're gonna push him to SP3. I lost my invul boost. I don't even remember how, but I did lose it. I'm gonna pause the voiceover and go back and check real quick. I actually lied to you. I lose my invul boost here, not where I thought I lost it. There, he just decided to dash back and hold block instead of hitting me into my evade, because that's the only thing AI likes to do when you're playing negative anymore. So now I'm kind of panicking because I'm in my corner and he's just got 1 billion bars of power and half the cost of special attacks. But we're gonna do a bunch of direct damage and heal a little bit off this SP3. I dropped the relic just to buy me some time for the red numbers to tick. He drops an SP3. I knew that was gonna happen, but again, Mordo's SP3 doesn't hit that hard. So in that case, yeah, he's just about dead. And it was a 2-minute fight. That's fine. It went fine. It was a very sketchy fight, but it worked out. And then now we're gonna fight a fight that I am very experienced in. I've been taking this negative versus 38 Sasquatch fights for seasons. Not during clarity because of the fact my negative was always on defense, but I'm very experienced with this fight, so I felt pretty good. It's gonna be more difficult and more easy with the tactic, because of the fact that with tactic, I have to be a lot more wary about evading more often than usual, because I need to make sure that at all times I'm going to have the heal block up. And the fun thing is that you still gain tactic charges when a debuff would be prevented by immunity, so I can actually just parry during debuff immunity and then gain a Secutor charge. Also, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing Secutor correctly, but like there, for some, I don't know if it's a bug or something, but I'm actually gaining Secutor charges when he's immune to the stun. And I don't think you should be gaining charges at all when a stun is prevented or activated, but I am, so I'm not complaining. If that wasn't the case, I'd just have to be very intentional about evading a lot more often. And also, speaking of intentional, pushing Sassy Red was intentional because I knew I had an invul active, so I was fine with that. Because when I threw to the SP3, he was at like 1.9 bars of power. So I was like, okay, if he's at 2 bars, then good. If he's at 3 bars, then it doesn't really matter. So I might as well drop it while I have perfect uptime on my Dark Energy and the Fury from Ebb and Flow Knockdown. So at this point, I have the heal block active, so I'm like, okay, if I re-trigger the heal block, I can actually kill Sasquatch with basic attacks, which is something I couldn't do without tactics. So that actually, that aspect of the fight is actually easier, fighting Sasquatch with tactic. The hardest thing about this fight without Secutor was always killing Sasquatch, because you would always need more than one SP3, but the fact that the heal block is there to prevent his final phase healing just meant that I can kill him with basic attacks and that SP2 rather than having to build to a second SP3. So that made that fight a lot easier, and I'm definitely happy with how that one went. Ironically, both of my mini bosses are going to go like twice as clean as my path fights. This Sorcerer is going to go very well, by the way. It's only a rank 2 Sorcerer. She's also not much of a defender. She's also not much of a defender on this node. Well, I say that, and actually, it's not a terrible placement. It's just the fact that Sorcerer doesn't really have defensive potential. Lag making me eat a combo there didn't help at all, but yeah, her spamming a bunch of special attacks, especially when the SP1 is uncounterable, it makes this, you know, somewhat difficult, but she's not much of a defender enough for it to matter. And also the heal block making it to where you don't even care if you have Falter on you. Yeah, that placement's not going to do much. So yeah, you see negative destroyed her. I didn't even ramp nearly as my max Dark Energy, so. The war is not over. Normally I would be doing recordings for my war videos when the war is over, but I want to get my first war video out early. I'll be back on schedule for only uploading after the war is over, after this war. And also I'm doing members only, so that's another day that I have to get this video done early. So I don't know why I'm even yapping about that. I'm sure you guys enjoy watching the video now, but that's just to say I don't know who wins the war yet. I'll probably put it in the pinned comments. But we are leading right now, so that feels good. And yeah, I hope this video was educational for you and you guys enjoyed watching it, and I will see you in the next one. Welcome to Secutor.